Good. Listen, first and foremost, please thank you all so much for all the support on Instagram and YouTube. I don't even know what's going on. It's just so, it's crazy. But good to see us bricklayers sticking together and interested in everything that everyone's doing. You know, not just me, all the other bricklaying YouTubers out there and the Instagrammers. What a joy it is to see how many people now coming back to life, you know, and appreciating who they are and what they do for a living. And the craftsmanship goes back, as you know, hundreds of years, and it's about time. And all I'm trying to do is, I know I'll come across enthusiastic, but I can't help it, it's who I am, is put the love back into the game, put the quality back in there. So anyway, what am I here for today? Right, I've got something to show you. Look at this baby. Cornmeal, okay? Now, years ago, what they used to do was make the bread, okay, on these grinds. You got this and you got the base, okay? So they go in, and the old girls used to turn, give it a good grind down all the corn and the wheat to make the bread, all the yeast, okay? Hence the saying, the daily grind, okay? So when you say, oh, back to the daily grind, that's where it comes from. So, in my build, I have a load of symbolic messages, okay? Now, I'm going to talk you through a few of them, but I'm waiting for one day a gentleman to come to my house and go, because I'm very educated in my trade and what I do, and I love the history and I love all the Egyptians, the symbols. Now, as we know, every house building has a context, has a meaning, whether it be to the owner, the architect, or the local planning or historian, okay? And that's important to understand that. So, what am I doing with this? Right, I've reclaimed this. This is 200 years old, gentlemen. 200 years old. So 200 years ago, women were working every day to grind the bread for their men while they was out hunting and gathering and training their sons up to be warriors, etc. So a good old English traditional stone, that needs to go into my house, okay? Now, I'm going to take you through what we're going to do with it. And again, it's another message, another meaning to the house. Enjoy. Right. I didn't film us lifting it in. What I've done was the scaffolder come down and give me a quote, and while he was there, I was like, give us the lift. This must weigh half a ton, 3/4 of a ton. Now, it's quite hard to get up because it's too big to get my arms around to bear hug it. So we've done it traditionally, by hand, by man, and it'll have a story to tell. There'll be conversation around the table in years to come. We'll be like, bloody hell, do you remember that? So a shout out to Billy Ricky Scaffolding, Gary Bundle. Listen, I'll put his name down there below. Any work in Essex, hit him up. One of my pals, really good mustard mate, on it all the time. Right, here she is. Now this is the base. Now you see the cornmeal which would go into the centre and would be the daily grind. So you can see, theoretically, look at all the marks. The marks of where she's been grinded over the years and then just sat unemployed. You know, now a certain reclaim yard I go to, Paul in Billericay, look him up. Unbelievable. You know, he's a bit funny old guy. You know, and he sells to people he knows are enthusiastic. Don't sell his stuff. He knows their worth, you know. And he likes to see things reincarnated. So I've got to show him this video after. So Paul, thank you very much for this as well. So what the idea is, this is my hallway, okay? So this is a feature wall inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stock round. So we have like a bullseye around it. And then the block work will carry on and be cutting to the bullseye. Now, I have to be careful here because we've gone very traditional. So the method of this house is traditional build, but we hit the modern quite sharply with the windows, etc., the vaulted ceilings, the sharp lines inside. So the plaster will run into this, and this will just be a clear stone feature in the wall. Now, eventually, I don't know, I might put a mirror in the middle of it, you know, or a picture of me. No, I don't know, or it might be just left, you know, to expose and for people to come in and see, you know, to say that, oh wow, what an absolute story behind this. So it's beautiful. So I'm gonna crack on. Now what I've done is, you can see I've tied her in, I've mucked the back of the stone, pushed it against the wall, and I've tied her in all round, okay, and hopefully my brickwork will come in and tighten and keep her nice and sturdy. Let's show you a few close-ups. See the gaps here, look at the grind, beautiful, the stone. 200 years, gentlemen, 200 years. and we're going to bring her back to life. Beautiful. Right, silly me, I was listening to Capital Gold, wasn't I? So you got to listen to me on the voiceover just for this clip. The rest is all right. Right, as you can see, I've done this traditionally, okay? A lot of bricklayers would have cut a timber template to the size of the radius of the stone, plus the 110mm brick on edge. They would insert the template and then cut all their block work into size, let it go off for the day, remove the template, and then apply the stone, the brick and edge, then the stone. But with this, it's very time consuming, because when you remove the template, you've got to lay your starter brick on edge course, which will probably be 4 to the degree of the left and 4 to the degree of the right, to take the first curve of the stone. Now, when you do that, you've got to let them go off, because you can't insert a half-ton stone onto green work. So then you're talking 3 days. So I prefer to do it by hand and by eye. I let my eye be my guide. It's a lot quicker, and I find it therapeutic and more challenging. Now, if you're inexperienced in doing bullseyes, then I recommend you start with the template, okay? Yes, but don't forget to price it for your time. But if you're experienced, have a go. Doing it by your eye and your hand, just like I'm doing now, and it's just more satisfying. Also, I think you get the natural contour of the arch doing it by the eye. So anyway, enjoy. doing is sorting through these stocks, because it's the sewing deficiencies, but you don't want to oversalt. You know, I'm chucking a few white ones in every now and then, and a few red, making sure she's okay and she's consistent with the colouring. You know, got a few burnt ones as well. It's time and effort, really, in what you're doing. That little detail, you know. The only problem I've got here is I've measured up the circumference of the circle, and she's within 8mm, okay, which is good. So what I'm going to do is persevere, split the difference here and there, just to try and keep a true bullseye, because you will notice that 8mm. Now, what I might do in between is, when she's finished, put a cork mark, a filler, right round the circumference, to sort of take the edge off the brick. So, and obviously where I put the ties in, I'm cutting the backs of the brick to match in as much as I can. So I'm splitting the difference between the three, and seeing how she comes out, you know. That's it. Oh, a little bit of snot on it. Right, so I've got that wall tie there. So I'm going to just trim it back, the frog out. See if we can get it in. Balance that this one. Set the block along with it. Get that next one in. Counteract that weight, you know. Lift it up a touch. Look good. Counteract that one in, sort of split that difference. 3. Let's just check out she's turning. Two big joints on the mangles. What people I see doing arches. Don't get the turn. Now, with these arches, if you go a couple more mil out, it brings the back end joint up more. And I see a lot of arches with big fat wedges in. And you're trying to keep the consistency. So split it slightly. See here, what I've got now is a little indent, which is going to show a little curve. So I'm going to just put one in dry and see what she looks like. Hey, diddly, the actor's life for me. Yeah, you can see it's a couple of mil. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of gear in there, just to help me out there. What I've done is I've put a little bit of gear in there just to get me up that little gap there. I mean, it's nothing to the eye, you know, well, to a bricklayer's eye it will be a lot, you know what we're like, but I split that and I'll put that cork line after. There she goes. Let your eye be your guide and the plan the last thing you part with. Always remember that, old TTV. Nice full joint, right in there. Hop up in a minute. I mean, yeah, you can see that. It's just taking that groove there. So what I'm going to do is open that wedge up a little bit more. Let the joint up. Now what I've done here with the mortar is I've added a little white cement. I've added white cement all inside the interior brickwork to tone down the grey mortar look. I hate the flash of grey mortar. So we've added a little bit of white cement just to tone it down, to blend it in, and she's looking lovely with this brick, I must say. Right, we need a little ribbon to go around that. A little pink. There she goes. Let's get this block cutting. Drill, get the gear, put the tyres in. It's when you realise how good your boy is, you know. Again, what I've done with the mortar here, 4 on 1. 3 building, 1 sharp, 1 cement, bucket dazed. You know, the sharp brings the aggregate out, toughens it up as well. The only thing with it, it goes quickly, you know. breathe. As you can see in the hallway, which is going to be the passageway, you can just imagine now the plaster work coming off the traditional work from the fire step, turning into the modern feature of the house. And as she flows down the open plan, the open living space, we come to a traditional method again, the stonework and this little brickwork feature, which is going to break up the modern look. So that's what I wanted to get. We wanted to fulfill the purpose of the traditional coming into the modern, okay? And it's imperative, and this stone I'm so happy with. Honestly, the texture, the imprint of the grinding over the years, you can really see in this. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, if you look closely, you can even see some fossils in there. It's unbelievable. So the history I've got here, I thought, what? 200 quid. Unbelievable. 250p a year it works out, something like that. Right, as you know, we put it in now. Centre of the wall would have made the actual centre of the piece higher. So if I do decide to put a mirror or clock in there further down the line, I'm only 5'10". So what we've done is we add a couple of inches for the 6 foot as the average height. So we're still going to hit it. Otherwise, if we went centre, we would be further up. And, no, sorry, further down. That was it, further down. So we had to lift her up. Now, I think it's important the way we've situated her in this part of the wall. So we've got 2 main walls plastered, and this wall will hit the feature. Now, what I'm thinking of doing is, with the dry lining, doing a recess, follow the radius around, and then putting lights in the recess. Whether that might be too bling or too glammy, I don't know, or tacky, I don't know, but perhaps we'll have a look at it. Now, what we've done when putting the stone in, we just drew the centre line, put the centre line in, and we put her in, measured up, transferred the centre line up, and that was it. So what we've got is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Joking. 18, bang on to gauge. Keystone is dead centre, how we want it. So remembering your prep work, it's so important. Now, early today, the sun was shining in and it was absorbing the moisture out the bricks. And I was getting worried, the more I rubbed her, the more she was coming out. So the evening time's kicking in now and I've got a little bit of moisture coming in, which is going to save it. So yeah, I'm really over the moon with it, guys, you know, and that's all part of it. Now, the important thing was, I finished this at 1:15, started at 7:30, done the dogs for half an hour. So, what we've been talking about, my main feature was, in the old days, we could turn arches or bullseyes, get a quality of 8 out of 10, and still turn it in good timing. So you've got quality and quantity, okay? Now, talking to some architects the other month, the main issue was if they wasn't getting the quality or the quantity, so the pieces or the special works, the detail work, because we're not trained, or the new school's not as trained as much because the detail's not here, they were turning arches and quality in terms of 6 out of 10 in longer timings, or in reverse. They was turning an arch in 8, 9 out of 10s in terms of quality, but taking too long to do it. So hence the decision with the money men, time is money, so everything now is fabricated, so it just literally goes on. So we need to bring that back. How do we bring that back? I'm reaching out to the colleges, trying to instruct and put exhibit on the syllabus, to try and train these youngsters. And we need these architects to just liven up and put more context into their buildings, you know. And listen, I'm only just trying to spread my love. That's all I'm doing for the game. And it's completely up to you guys if you listen or not. Put the love back into the game, you know, and that's what it's about. Now, guys, I can't thank you enough that if you follow me on Instagram, the love on there is unbelievable. I've auditioned for a programme the other day. We're getting loads of media offers. It's immense. And that's all down to you. So thanks for all your support, guys. Like I said, I just like to do what I do. Now, what we need to do is stick together. You know, God bless all the people taking time to put videos up, whether you agree with it or you don't. We're all in it together. And that's what it's about, right? So, listen, I'm off to grow me big, even more. Listen, thanks ever so much for subscribing and liking. Listen, God bless, good health, and remember, at the end of the day, it's night time.